Hi everybody and welcome back to Music with Meg. I'm Meg and today we're going to be learning all about cadences. Have you ever noticed that sometimes music can have a really satisfying ending and sometimes it really doesn't? Today we're going to learn why that is, and it's something called cadences. Cadences are like musical punctuation. They come at the end of a phrase or a piece of music, like a comma, a full stop, or even a question mark. Even if you're not aware of it, our ears detect these cadences and they give shape to a piece of music. Now there are 4 types of cadence that we're going to learn today, but before we do that, we need to understand a little bit more about how music is written. As we've learned before, most Western music is written around a key. For example, C major. A key is a group of notes that's flats, naturals and sharps around which a piece of music can be based. Let's write out the notes for C major. C, D, E, F, G, A and B. No sharps or flats. Now within every key we have 7 different chords. Let's number them now. We've got number 1, C, number 2, D and so on until we get to B, which is chord number 7. Now most music cycles around these chords in order to keep the music and the harmony sounding interesting. Let's imagine, for example, that Happy Birthday was just played over one single chord. It might sound a bit like this. Now if we add in some different chords to that Happy Birthday, it's going to sound a lot more interesting. Now, back to our cadences. We have 2 types of finished cadence and 2 types of unfinished cadence. The first of our finished cadences is called a perfect cadence, and it's named this way because it sounds, well, perfect. A perfect cadence always goes from the dominant chord, that's chord number 5, to the tonic chord, chord number 1, which is our home chord. A perfect cadence might sound like this. Or this. We're always landing on chord number 1, which is our home chord. When we're writing a perfect cadence, we often flip or invert the dominant chord so that the leading note, the 7th note, is on top. And that way it has a more satisfying ending as it's moving up into the tonic. And that would sound like this. The next finished cadence is called a plagal cadence. And this one always goes from chord number 4 to chord number 1. And it sounds like this. This cadence can also be called the Amen cadence because it's often used in hymns and choral music. And you can sing the word Amen over the top, like this. Amen. Now let's move on to our 2 unfinished cadences. First up, we have an imperfect cadence. Now this cadence is a little bit more like a comma, and it's often found in the middle of a piece of music or to end a phrase to let you know that there's more music to come. This cadence always ends on chord number 5, the dominant, but it can begin on any other chord in the key. It's often led by chord 1, which sounds like this. Chord number 2, which would sound like this. Chord number 4, which sounds like this. Or chord number 6, which sounds like this. Finally, we have a surprise cadence, the interrupted cadence. This one begins on chord number 5, so you think that you're about to hear a perfect cadence, but then the music moves on to any other chord in the key except for chord 1. Let's hear what that sounds like. This cadence can be used to surprise the audience, as it's not what our ears are expecting to hear. So, there we have it, our 4 cadences. Let's recap them now. We have our perfect cadence, which always uses chord 5 to chord 1 and sounds like this. We have our plagal cadence, which uses chord 4 to chord 1, sometimes also known as the amen cadence, and it sounds like this. Amen. And then we have our unfinished cadences. We have our imperfect cadence, which finishes on chord number 5, but can start on any other chord in the key, usually chords 1, 2, 4, or 6, and that might sound like this. And we have our interrupted cadence, our surprise cadence, which always starts with chord number 5, but can end on any other chord in the key except chord 1. And that might sound like this. So there you have it. Now you know how to recognise and name cadences. And I'm sure once you begin, you'll start to hear them in music everywhere. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you'll know when my next video comes out. And if you want a printout on cadences and plenty of other music theory resources, you can find them on my Ko-fi page at ko-fi.com/musicwithmeg. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!